Hello and welcome to K-Stop, Fuse's K-Pop podcast. Hey guys, as always, this is Jeff Benjamin and I'm joined by the orange to my caramel, Tina Zhu.
Hey. Welcome back to K-Stop as always. How are you doing, Jeff?
Oh, I'm doing, I'm ready for K-Stop to uplift me. It is a morning in New York. It has been a morning in New York. People are screaming at I've saw two people screaming at each other. I saw trains are a mess. It's been rainy.
This week, it's been 3-4 straight days of crappy, dreary gray skies.
Yes, so I'm ready for K-Stop, as always, to uplift me. Because, yes,
we have a lot of great music to get through, some great comments. So hopefully this will make the rest of the week go better, more smoothly.
I'm sure hoping for it. So, yes, guys, thank you as always, because one of the biggest parts and one of the things that does uplift me is when you guys leave comments and talk to us about what we're talking about on the show. So first and foremost, just want to throw it out there that last week, if you were listening, we had Fuse's digital deputy editor, Jason Lipschutz, come in, who was at Coachella, talked to Epic High, saw Epic High's show, and he talked to us not only about, his experiences with the band and, about K-pop and what he foresaw for the future with K-pop at U.S. festivals, but also reviewed the music along with us, which I got a lot of feedback just from listeners and friends of mine who said it was really refreshing to hear an unbiased, some new person.
And Jason listens to a lot of pop music, so so a lot of the songs kind of stuff that he may or may not have been into, but a couple of them resonated with him, especially 17.
He loved 17.
He loved 17. I think he was kind of iffy with Twice, but in general he seemed to like Twice, and then I think he and I were not on board for Lovelies, even though you were.
Yes.
So we let you have that one.
I was definitely on an island with that one. But if you guys if you haven't checked it out, definitely, we really loved that episode. Thought it was something, you guys thought it was something refreshing.
And it was fun to have an extra voice in there. So we're definitely looking forward to having more guests on the show in the future.
Yes. So if you have someone you're interested or we'll see who else we can. I think I called it Muggle reviews, with the idea that if you don't listen to K-pop, you're not magical. So
I guess
you guys know this. So let us know what you guys thought of that, but we were happy to see some good feedback about it, and it was fun for us. So we also want to give a shout out to @DanNosey, who wrote to me on Twitter when I hit you guys up and said, what do you want to talk about on K-Stop? And he said, and this totally would not have been on our radar, and now it is, he wrote, the fact that Boa Kwan needs to release another English album ASAP. And we love that comment.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I am 100% on board.
Because when was the last time I thought about Boa's English album? But when was that? 2008,
Yeah, it was a while ago. And I love that album. I thought it was fire. I felt like it sounded at the time, sounded very current. And even listening to it now, I could hear that on the radio now.
Yeah.
And I think she blends really well with a lot of hip hop artists. I think her single with Sean Garrett, I really liked it. Has a good dance vibe to it. The album overall was very dancey.
And this was very early in my K-pop education that I knew she was from Korea. I knew she was super famous.
She's a legend.
I know. But this, very young very young K-pop fan, Jeff, at the time, I remember thinking, oh, this is really cool. And it was also a time where I recognized wow, they're really, where are the Asian artists here in America? What the heck, this has to work. And so, but I remember really, if I didn't appreciate it so much then, I really appreciate it now.
For sure.
Eat You Up is just so fun.
It was, the concept, the lyrics were very interesting, but and I think her music video production has always been really good, and she's such a bomb dancer. And she is just, her catalog is incredible, and she's been around since she was 14.
No,
and it's surprising that she's only released one official English album.
And
so yeah, I think it's overdue.
it didn't do horribly. It didn't smash America or smash the charts or
Right.
anything. It did decently, respectably.
Because I mean, she was more of an earlier-esque venture into the
Yeah.
American market. I think she and Rain were two of the more, I guess, like first kind
Right.
of major attempts at breaking into the American market.
Definitely, yeah. The first, yeah, very early. Like this is and way before, obviously, Psy and Gangnam Style.
Mhm,
and,
yeah. And without something that's, I mean, no disrespect to Psy, but without anything that was like very gimmicky or like you would hear and be like, oh, that's K-pop, you know?
Right. It was positioned itself as, and and that was a time I think when K-pop wasn't sure if it wanted to be K-pop. It was, she certainly wasn't saying this is Korean music done in English. It was kind of like this is, and that's the tricky thing is that like K-pop really is so comparable to like, in my opinion, it's much better than a lot of pop music in the West. But, she was doing something different and something unique for the time for sure. And then, bringing something special. But, oh my gosh. I mean, her catalog, though, like that last album she did, Kiss, Taste My Kiss. Oh my gosh.
Something
what's it
like
called?
that. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but like Boa's done so much. And like she wrote that whole album. She produced or co-produced most of it. Like, there's just so Kiss My Lips, sorry, is what it's called.
Right.
And, that was just such a good album too. And, there's so many great tracks on it.
Right.
It was one of my favorites from last year.
She truly is a multifaceted veteran in K-pop. And I just want to see her kind of like
continue to grow.
Yeah. And just, take another risk, doing an English album. Yeah. I mean, honestly, she can't. It's like she can just do whatever at this point. I mean, she was at that level for a few years already. So I don't know. It's like I guess it's just more how she felt like that first experience went. Whether she wants to, do a part 2.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's very certainly. Something that resonated with us because was I thinking about Boa's album this morning? No.
but now we are totally wanting another one.
Now here I am not only wanting one but wanting to listen to the first one right now. Yeah. So thanks Dan Nosey so much for mentioning us. And as you guys know, you can always contact us at any time, whether that be on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Jeff__Benjamin.
And mine is hey_Tina with 3 A's.
Yes, and do the hashtag KStop on Twitter. Leave a comment on Fuse.tv. Leave a rating or a comment on iTunes. We'll see it all. We see everything. Don't you worry. But
yes,
I've got to move on because I am so excited about. I think we have a stacked episode this week, and I'm really so excited. Yeah. So many great music releases, but which one is pulling you the most?
We
today,
obviously
Tina?
need to start with BTS. That is the biggest release this past week.
Yes,
killing it on the charts. The song is called Fire.
Yes, this new single Fire. And
it is, I guess, the first official release on the, I guess what you call it, repackaged album, or like a
I think they're
compilation type thing
album,
of their first 2 EPs.
Yes. And for those who just need a quick catch up, last year BTS had a really remarkable 2015 in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they released these 2 EPs, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Part 1 and Part 2, and both, in my opinion, really excellent releases. Some of my favorite K-pop albums from last year for sure. But this is sort of the end of this trilogy. We've been talking kind of a lot about how trilogies are kind of becoming a thing more in K-pop, and this is sort of their end of the trilogy. It's called The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, and a compilation of the tracks. There's a couple new songs, a couple remixes, a couple reworks, but it's all being kind of pushed first and foremost by Fire.
By Fire, yes. And this is basically like a more aggressive next level version of Dope.
Yes.
Which if you haven't heard Dope, that's been doing well still, even, months after its initial release. And it's a heavily like electro hip hop dance track. And if you thought that was a banger, Fire will just, if you haven't heard it, it will blow your mind.
Yes.
It is from beginning to end, just nonstop.
Yeah.
Like at like level 100.
Oh yeah.
The video is incredible. The video really, really cohesively kind of brings the song to life. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of like, there's like obviously the tons of choreography, and they've always been like very intricate and clean with their choreography.
And even this brings it to that next level. I think,
yeah.
You know, they really outdid themselves, I think. You know, just knowing kind of what you knew of BTS was just sort of upgraded, you know, even more so. I mean, and this is, I don't know if I should totally reveal this or not, but this doesn't happen with a lot of music, but this has now happened twice with me. When watching BTS, you know, watching the music video, I got chills while watching Fire. And that happened
like actual goosebumps.
Yes. And that happened with Run too.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, I think it's just this, it just all comes together so well, and I'm so impressed by just not only somehow creating this, you know, in my opinion, they've really done well with the aggressive hip hop, you know, really making that punchy, but like J-Hope in particular, like stood out so much to me. If he hadn't stood out in the past, he really shined, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is definitely a very there's a lot of depth to this group.
Yeah.
And I think it's just been really, really evident in both this release and the past release, which was Young Forever, kind of like a teaser video.
Yeah.
That was much slower, more emotional. And we had mentioned that in a previous episode, and I think we both really like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like just the level of talent that you witness.
Oh my God.
They learned this entire choreography routine by video. It wasn't even they didn't even learn this in studio with the choreographer. So the choreographer is a Filipino dancer named Keone Madrid, I believe is how you pronounced, or how it is pronounced. And he basically recorded he and his own dancers doing this routine and sent it over to BTS's management. And I believe that's how they learned the whole entire routine by video.
And if you haven't seen it, it is so on point.
It is so crazy how they.
That's
like, I'm trying to imagine myself like taking like a hip hop funk class and crashing and burning from like a few simple steps. Like I can't imagine how many hours they must have put in the studio learning that, and just like additional movements that kind of bring out like more feeling, a bit more swagger. You know, in the video. They learned it to a T.
Yeah. No, they're just so in sync with one another.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's a lot of like jerky movements either, but somehow the jerky movements are even in sync. I'm always like, how did you guys do this?
Things that should look like they're not in sync, like kind of casual, like I mean, I'm sure some of it is like stuff that they improvise themselves, but just, you know, judging from the original practice clip that the choreographer uploaded, you need to watch it. It's on his Instagram. You got Google Keone Madrid, Keone. Yeah, no, it's crazy that they learned it basically from that video.
Wow.
So mad props to BTS. Like that's just insane to me.
Yeah, and you know, I thought they were, you know, they brought it, you know, obviously musically, dance wise. I like the visuals here. I thought, you know, Jin, I love him as a blonde. You know, I thought that was quite on point as well. I knew there was something there.
My one nitpicky thing is that I'm not loving the styling on some of the members. Like I feel like Rat Monster, it looks like they like dipped his hair in Kool-Aid and left him in the sun to dry.
Whoa.
Or like
it's a fun look. I gotta agree, it wasn't my favorite.
It's kind of like a watercolor blue that they put in.
Some type of
It's weird because he usually wears like a hat or a hoodie or something, so you don't notice his hair too much. But I just really wasn't into that, and some of the like the jorts were a little weird. But overall, I didn't notice like little like things like that too much, because again, like you're focusing on the choreography, you're focusing on the fire, the like, you know, all the energy in the video, and I think overall like this is like probably like a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Nice. Yeah, and I mean it's just doing remarkably. I mean it did really well in, you know, off the back in Korea, but even in America, I've been watching the iTunes positions,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Fire like reached the top 40 of not just, we talk about, the K-pop chart
Just within,
on
yeah.
iTunes, but on US iTunes, the overall songs, they're up
Right.
there with, remember,
Like, right.
Beyonce just released an album, Drake
Right.
just released an album, Prince died.
Out of
There's
all
a
the
lot of
artists
things
in the world.
yeah,
Yeah.
or that are doing well in America.
Right.
It's BTS is right up there. I think they sent 7 songs to the top 200. The album went top 30. Then remember, this is a compilation album. It's like got a lot of tracks on it. It's more expensive than most.
Right.
They're just really
Right.
you
Isn't
know.
it like $26 or
it's
something?
it's like
that's
$26.
ridiculous.
And they're still getting. These fans are so passionate about BTS. So
Yeah, as they should be. So
I'm
is a huge
so-
accomplishment.
yeah, so keen to see what's next for them.
Right.
Really excited to see.
Right.
Just and we're there. There's of course new tracks, and we're also getting a music video. I was reading for the track "Save Me,"
Which
A-
I
a
love.
really good
Yeah.
standout. Like I thought, I was like, oh my gosh, this would totally be another group single. If
Mhm.
it wasn't a BTS album
Yeah.
track.
And have you listened to some of the reworked and remixed
Yeah,
tracks?
yeah,
What'd you
yeah.
think of those?
I think I liked, it was interesting to hear like the alternate mixes because
Mhm.
at points I'm like, oh, I see why they did that. Or like the alternate mix of Run. I was like, oh, I know why they sharpened their vocals there
Yeah.
or didn't keep it, like that effect there.
Right.
But then I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Granted, I would like to think the final version was the perfect version, but like it was cool to hear like a ballad version of like, some different songs like
Yeah.
that. Or
I can't remember which remix it was. There were a couple, but for I Need You, there was one remix that I actually really liked. I'm normally not a remix person.
Yeah.
I just prefer the original. And when you make it too kind of like overall one type of aesthetic, as remixes tend to do, if it's like too like
yeah.
EDM or
Yeah.
too house, whatever,
Sure.
it kind of turns me off. But I feel like their remixes are definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, and it was cool to see like Butterfly got a bunch of different
Yeah,
Butterfly was one of
yeah.
my favorites. So yeah, no, BTS, so excited for them. You know.
Right.
This is like, I mean, they're charting at a level like Big Bang was.
Exactly,
when they were
yeah.
releasing a lot of music last year. So it's very exciting to see.
Right.
So.
Do you think that Fire will, in the long run, not do better than Dope, but maybe resonate with fans more than Dope? Because Dope is
International
like
fans.
international, yeah.
I'm kind of well. Here's the thing too, is that like Dope started being promoted as like the next single,
Mhm.
But I was reading that with Fire and all this stuff, BTS is only doing like a week of promotions and then they're starting their tours and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So I'm wondering if maybe it won't have that same lasting effect because it doesn't have that same, the things that K-pop fans get excited about, the live
Right.
performances, the variety shows, etc.
Right.
But maybe, and I don't think they promoted Dope that long either. It might have
Mhm.
also been a week or two or something. But I don't know. I'm really curious to see. I think it's gonna be around for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
solid. It's another. We always text about like, oh, I'm at the gym working out. This
Oh.
song, like we did this for 4 Minutes Hate.
oh yes, which I used.
This
the other
is
day.
definitely this. I've been running to this song.
Yeah. No,
So.
same. I was good. Yeah, it's definitely on my workout playlist.
Yes.
For the get ready for the summer.
So thank you BTS for that
Yes.
workout playlist edition.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Yeah, and you guys, definitely we'll put up all the music that we've been talking about, including that choreographer's view. I'm so dying to see that because we put a YouTube playlist on every post that we do on Fuse.tv. We'll have a YouTube playlist of all the music we're talking about.
Yeah,
And
so
speaking
I'll
of
be
more
right there for
music,
you.
yeah, we'll be right there for you. But speaking of new music, who should we go to
Move
next?
on.
Should we?
Let's switch to. Why don't we talk about an all-female group
Let's
now?
do it.
Who is very new. Granted, they have been on TV for a minute now. The
And
ladies
K-Stop listeners love them.
love them. We get bombarded with comments about them all the time. The girls of IOI.
IOI, and as you guys, a lot of this is the final 11-member girl group created from the singing competition show Produce 101, where they took 101 female K-pop hopefuls, trainees as they're known in K-pop circles, and they whittled it down to this final 11 group. And now, within a month after that show finished, they are now here with their debut full-fledged single called Dreamgirls, and they have an EP that also dropped of the name called Crissle. But here we go with Dreamgirls, and Tina. I'm very curious what you think.
I actually didn't mind the song. I wasn't sure what to expect because I listened to Crush, kind of like the promotional first release that may or may not have, or I guess it's not a single, official single anymore. But that song I really like. It kind of at the beginning had kind of Girls' Generation vibes to it. So this one I wasn't really sure what to expect. It was a little kind of standard girly bubblegummy, but not to the point where it was like annoying, because I had some like trap influence in there. It was, dancey. It was very uplifting.
Yeah, for sure.
Like motivational, like you can do it, girls. Like that's kind of the vibe I got. And it's something that maybe if I was kind of just like hanging out in my apartment and came on, I'd be like, oh, this is fun. I will say the music video, I would rather listen to the song rather than watch the video. I know that you don't like you can have more than one group of cheerleaders in the world, but like a certain girl group named Twice just made a comeback, and they're obviously like bigger than IOI. And they came back with a full-fledged cheerleader, high school bleachers, rah, 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 kind of.
Well, IOI is on a tennis court.
Yes, true. But like the whole tube socks and pleated skirt cheerleader thing, we've seen that a couple times. And like, I think, wasn't AOA kind of that vibe too?
Good point. Like they did the lacrosse thing, the sporty thing. Yeah, Starship's new girl group is doing that too. I do agree. We were kind of seeing
that. I was very
aesthetic.
Surprised that that's what they went with.
Yeah. No, and I mean, clearly they didn't, or I shouldn't say clearly, but, this is a rush. It is sort of, they're clearly on a time constraints. If for those quick catch up, if you don't know, this group is only going to be around for a year. That's sort of like the terms of Winnie being on this group. And, it makes sense, these people were unknowns before starting on this show. And then, they get a year to expose themselves, expose their future groups, I guess, or whatever they may do, because they will disband at the end of 1 year. But I don't know. I have to say, and maybe it's because it's only 1 year, but I'm totally giving into the hype here. Like, I was very excited just to see what this group was going to bring, and I love big groups, as we talked about. And I was just, I have to say that, it started off so strong. I love the trap influences. I love the, like the little rapping parts and stuff like that. The chorus fell a little flat to me. It kind of felt a little, I didn't want so much of that. It just felt a little on the nose with like the whole inspirational, motivational, blah, blah, blah. Not blah, 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 but, that sort of whole thing.
Did it get it felt a little corny.
It felt a little, it'd be like, I know what you were going for, but I just didn't, it didn't need to be so smash me over the head with your positivity.
Right.
But, I really liked the music video. I thought that was going to be the part you liked more because, I thought the colors were really nice. I thought it was cool to individualize all the 11 different members.
That's true. I liked how they single some members. Was it all the members that they did?
Yeah, I think they all had their own scene.
Yeah, and they came out with, got, honed in on with like their individual dance styles. Like I guess I can't remember the ballerina's name. I thought she was cute. She stood out to me. Pinky, right? Yeah,
and she from Plattis Entertainment.
Yeah, and she's the Chinese member.
She's
right?
Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah,
she's a fellow mainlander.
Yeah, no, she stood out to me. I would say.
Yeah.
I also, Somi from JYP Entertainment, who won so she got ranked number 1 in the end, and she's kind of like, I guess she was the one doing the rock climbing too. I think she's a standout.
Yeah.
I really like Na Young, who's also from Plattis Entertainment. She was the fencer. She's very
interesting.
I think there's a girl named Chai Young, who's from Tiara's company and BK Entertainment. Those are the standouts to me. But yeah, no, I'm very, and this, again, I think I was talking about it before, in past episodes, but, this group's only going to be around for a year. It's kind of like a super group of trainees, the best of the best, supposedly. And then, they will disband, but they have this really aggressive schedule. They're going to be doing 4 releases. I think they're planning subunits, lots of.
All that in a year.
Yeah, in a year's time,
Wow.
So I think, and it'd be one thing if it was like, if this was a new group and I'd be like, okay, first single didn't totally hit the mark. They have time to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But this group
they don't have time.
Doesn't have time. Yeah.
I mean, granted, K-pop does move quickly, but
Sure.
when you have 11 members and you want to promote the shit out of them in a year, it's like, you have a lot of things to consider, and I think that it is an interesting concept because sometimes people don't want to get into another group because they're like, this is too much time investment, right?
Right.
At least that's kind of how I think with certain groups, especially if there are like so many members. I'm like, I don't know if I can like handle this.
The more the better for me.
But I think it's interesting, like, since they are gonna only be active, for a year, people are probably thinking, what do I have to lose? It's like, I only have to invest so much time.
Sure.
If anything, I follow them for a year. I can, if I don't like it, whatever. And there's also
interest is certainly there.
Yeah. And there's also the element of they're only going to be around for a year. So, you better be, kind of in the loop at least now when people are still talking about them. Like, better now than later when they're not actively promoting and they're just all split up doing their own thing and not together anymore.
Yeah, they made it an event, which I think it's always really exciting when music releases are an event, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what every artist is trying to do. But to me, this felt like an event personally.
Yeah. So I guess overall, I think they're doing pretty well. I didn't love that first recommended song that one of our, I think like
the Pick Me Up song.
Was it like one of our Twitter followers, No More Sleep, I believe, she recommended Pick Me Up, and she was like, give it a chance. I'm like, girl, no, I tried.
By the way, I'm still jamming to it. But yeah, they re-recorded it for the EP. They re-recorded Crush.
God.
They, and they recorded this, they performed this song rather, on this variety show. It's called like Sugar Man. I don't know its exact English name, but they performed this song. It's called I can't exactly figure out the exact name, but it's called Hip Song by the Banana Girls.
Rain.
Were you about to say Rain?
By Rain. I was like, that's not an old traditional or like really standout K-pop song. So
no, that's like an aggressive.
That's
hip-hop
also
song.
very like hip hop and it's a banger. So I was like, they're doing that and what?
No, this is some like funkier or something. There's a lot of horns. They performed it very well. I don't know this song, but someone, I think I tweeted about it. Shout out to the K-Stop listeners who responded to it or saw it. I said, K-Stop listeners are getting me so excited for IOI. This performance is awesome. And that was by the what did I call it?
The banana something?
The hip song by Banana Girls, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm admitting 100% if I'm wrong.
Nothing about
you can't
that.
Call me out.
Nothing about that's ringing a bell.
But it's not Rain. I don't think it's Rain. But yeah, no, IOI really keen. I'm really excited to just see what's coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to listen. The EP wasn't released at the time of this recording in America, so I haven't listened yet. But I'm curious.
I'm very curious, and hopefully they do well, and they only have so much time to really show off all of their individual charms, as K-pop fans likes to call it. So
we're ready.
Yeah. So overall, like, pretty decent.
Yeah.
Release.
Decent start.
Yeah.
And shout out to Kalia at Kalia Cornegay, who mentioned they wanted us to talk about it. Don't worry, girl. We got you.
Yep.
And last but not least, this is a group I was very excited to come back. We have Akdong Musician, who, after 2 years is releasing first new music. The brother-sister duo under YG Entertainment, both teens. Quick side note, they were featured in our Teen Takeover Week where they and Lehigh were both featured. Just some I got to do some fun interviews with them. Just
Yeah.
something a little different, talking about being young artists, what it's like standing up for yourselves, even though you're the youngest people in the room. They gave me some
Right.
really, honestly, really refreshing, unexpected interview answers. So I was really happy with
Yeah,
those
so
pieces.
everybody got to check that out. Jeff does some pretty bomb-ass interviews. So be sure to check
Thanks.
that out on Fuse.tv.
Yes, please do. But Akdong is back with their I don't exactly know how how it exactly works in Korean, but the EP is its English title is Spring. I think in Korean it means more like adolescence or puberty or
Okay.
or
Oh yeah,
blossoming
right. I
or
remember that.
something.
I think the word puberty was in there, and it was a little. I was like, something got lost in translation because
So something
it
about
sounds a little
growth.
odd.
There's some type of growth happening.
Right. I think that's what they were going for, and that works for spring too.
Yeah. So why not?
Development or blossoming or something.
Yeah. But yeah, they have 2 tracks that have videos, Rebuy and Moving People.
Yeah, moving people.
Or Move the People.
It was like how people move
How people
or moving people.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you want to, what website you're looking at,
Yes. Kind of. We're yeah, exactly. We're going with multiple. We're trying to go across the board, but
Yeah.
I really loved Akdong Musician's very first album. This was 2014, the Play album. I never really understood the concept of healing music. This is a big thing in Korea, healing
Yeah.
music. And I got that with them. It's very just nice, calming, refreshing,
makes you
soothing,
yeah.
exactly. Harmonies, just really nice production. Just
So this was a good release for this crappy rainy week.
rainy
We
week.
have
It's
not
true.
seen the sun in a hot minute.
I know and it's just gonna keep raining all week.
I know.
and
I'm hoping that I think the weekend might be better. Hopefully.
Yeah, I heard it was raining in Korea today, so shout out to Korea. But we feel you. But to be honest, I really liked the album tracks on this EP. I definitely suggest Around. Around was sort of like, it was like a stand, like I stood still like while I was listening to it because it's just a really
Like I need
nice,
a moment.
Yeah, I did. And Akdong, if they were kind of doing slightly hip hops, but a little folky. This album's a little more throwbacky, vintage sounds.
Yeah.
20s, 30s, 40s sort of sounds.
Right. There's a
and
lot of so for Rebuy, which is spelled RE-BYE, it sounds kind of weird when you just say it, but yeah, like I've got a lot of kind of swing jazz,
Yes.
big band vibes, and very blatantly throwback, and I thought that was just a really cool sound for them.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. If you guys know me, or if you know my other music taste, I love this kind of. This is very up my alley. I was listening to Billie Holiday this morning, very much.
That was not what I was listening to. Oh wow, that's
you
a
were
good.
listening to Pick Me Up. Just kidding.
You wish I was. I was listening to. What was I listening to? I was listening to like a morning playlist or whatever, but
Very
yeah.
nice. Yeah, no, I mean, this was very, I was very into it, and that's the thing is that they didn't, lots of artists are very at risk of redoing or sounding, copying what they did last time. Akdong moved in an interesting new position, and
They
I thought
did,
it
yeah.
was cool, and it still had those really nice charm from their last album.
Right. It
That
was still
there.
very them, and
Yeah.
they're kind of like quirky and
Yeah.
cute and likable, but
They're
also
teens.
extremely unique. Right.
Oh yeah. I mean the brother Chan Hyuk, who's 19, he wrote and produced this whole album, which is just so
that's crazy.
awesome. And granted, remember too, he was doing this at a much younger
Yeah,
age
yeah.
2 years ago, and it's so nice. His sisters along with him, they were discovered on a music show, K-pop Star, which is a very American Idol-esque show.
Right.
And it's just they're just so talented, and they're bringing something very unique, and it's very cool that they're so embraced by them. Last I checked, these were doing really well on the Korean
Yeah,
charts.
and I always thought it was really cool that YG signed them because
Yes.
YG, this isn't a typical for those who
Not at
follow
all.
YG artists. They're more kind of hip hop oriented, dance stuff, but like
trendy.
yeah, and it's interesting that now they have Akdong Musician representing them, and they're like folk kind of a blend of a lot of things, and definitely just a different vibe, and they definitely stand on their own very well.
Oh yeah, no,
So.
these guys. Yeah, I'm so always so impressed by them. I'm very excited for their careers. They said that it's going to be a busy year. Another release is planned for the end of the year. So I'm really excited.
And we'll see how they do on live shows, on award shows, because they won, number ones with the last EP.
Yeah.
So which one did you like better between Rebuy and Moving People?
Honestly, and it's going to sound a little surprising, but probably Move the People, because
really?
Yeah, I Rebuy, I'll probably end up listening to Rebuy more just because I think but Moving People struck me more, I think.
Okay.
Initially.
Okay.
And I'll probably listen to
know.
the album tracks more, to be honest.
Right. I actually haven't listened to the non-singles yet.
Ooh, definitely
I
do.
guess like the Moving People or How People Move, it felt just a little like forgettable to me. Maybe because like I really liked Rebuy and that was definitely a different vibe. I do like the video, how it was very whimsical and quirky, and I appreciated that. So
yeah, and they're so fun to watch.
They are fun. Yeah.
I loved even with their debut music, 200%. Like you just very much got a sense that like these kids are like very know who they are.
Yeah.
They know like
they just feel comfortable with their sound and themselves,
which is so respected. I wish I was more like that when I was a teen.
Right. I was just like, what was I doing when I was 17, 19?
So Akdong Musician, gotta love them. Check out our interview with them on Fuse.tv. I would love to meet them one day, even though
they seem really chill,
I would
like
love
coffee
that.
shop chill,
I'd be like, let's get some coffee, guys.
Yeah.
Do you drink coffee? Do teens drink coffee?
Coffee culture is huge in Korea, as
right.
you and I both know. We each went to Seoul on different occasions, but coffee culture is alive and well there. So
yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
Akdong, we're excited.
I'm glad that there was a very diverse mix of genres.
Oh yeah, probably
week.
our most diverse show yet.
Yeah.
I love it.
And we loved all of them.
Yeah, so it's exciting, very exciting episode. And now, as is always exciting, let's see how they're all doing on the charts.
All right,
because it's time for a little chart.
Yeah.
As you guys know, Tina, or if you've been listening for this past month, because April was such a packed comeback schedule, Tina and I went against each other, and the rule was that we had teams, and Tina's team was Day 6, Block B, Twice, Up Tension, Wonder Girls. Granted, Wonder Girls did not release in April, and my team was CN Blue, Vic, 17, Monsta X, and Taeyeon. Granted, Monsta X and Taeyeon both did not release. We were looking at the anticipated schedules, of course, but the idea was that we look at the top 5 K-pop singles on US iTunes every week, and depending on who got a song in the top 5, that person would get a point.
Mm-hmm. And repeats are fine.
Repeats are fine, because as Tina lucked out by having Block B, it worked out in her favor. But yes, so it was tied last week at 3-3.
Even though I was ahead for like 2 weeks straight.
She was winning, and everyone liked her. Although I at the end I got more comments. I got more likes.
Jeff made a comeback.
I did make a comeback, if you know what I mean. But and the prize was a bottle of wine. So let's see how this week goes.
See how we did.
All right, here we go.
Just do it.
At number 5 is BTS, Love Is Not Over, full-length edition off The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever. So as we know, this album has been doing amazing.
Yes.
And let's see how the rest of it goes, because at number 4 is House of Cards full-length edition by BTS, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life.
I think I know where this is going.
Because then at number 3 is Epilogue, Young Forever by BTS, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life.
Oh my
Young
God.
Forever.
All right, so I'm going to guess number 1 is Fire. What's number 2?
Funny you should ask, because it's Save Me by BTS.
I should have guessed
at
that.
The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever. And like you said, number 1, Fire by BTS. So literally they've taken over the chart. Actually, if I'm looking at the charts, I have to go all the way to the number 10 release, which is Cheer Up by Twice. And then number 11 is Pretty You by 17. And, actually, interestingly enough, Akdong just jumped ahead of them on the K-pop albums chart. But, Akdong's best charting song is Rebuy at number 14 on the...
Okay.
But, so apparently our game is still tied.
We're still tied.
Maybe we should do it for June, because June's looking pretty stacked.
No, someone needs to win, because Jeff is competitive and I just like wine. So somebody's going to win this.
So we'll see how things go next year. I'm still, maybe I feel like my boys 17 will make a will
Probably.
They're
I mean, they just won their first #1, right?
They did. I saw lots of people were hitting. I saw that on my Twitter feed this morning.
Yeah, well, that's awesome because I definitely did not see that coming. I thought the song was really fun. I liked it, but they just obviously are not like as I don't want to. How do I say this without being like shady?
They're
like
still up and
they're
coming.
like up and coming, right? It's not like because
Don't need to be
generally
shady.
when I think people do like get #1s, they're kind of like at least had like a hit or two already, or I guess like
Sure.
everyone has to start with a hit, so that's
Yeah.
I guess their first hit.
Yeah,
So-
no, exactly. It's really remarkable how much they've just grown in this list. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited. They said, yeah, I'm excited that 17 is doing well. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Congrats to them. Congrats to BTS for
Yeah,
taking over.
literally taking over. So we'll see how next week goes. But yeah, keep letting us know if you're on Team Jeff or Team Tina. And last but not least, in our deep cut section, where we get into a trending topic or controversy or something fun that's making the K-pop community buzz, we got something very fresh and new. Looks like it's going to be May. You know, if we thought April was a fun month of comebacks, this is going to be maybe a controversial month because we got Tiffany of Girls' Generation, who announced her solo full-fledged solo debut, will be going head-to-head basically with ex-Girls' Generation member Jessica Jung. And we thought this was interesting because, you know, for the longest time it was, okay, Jessica's gonna do a solo something, and, you know, then Taeyeon was like, oh, I'm gonna release something. And, you know, for a while a lot of you guys were even catching it too, you know. Is it going to be Taeyeon versus Jessica? But then out of nowhere, it seems like it's going to be Tiffany versus Jessica, which is
so interesting because they're both the overseas Cali girls, you know, of who are, you know, have big fan bases individually.
Yeah, right.
And their personalities are very different too. So.
Yeah. So the backstory is that Tiffany announced for May 11th her debut solo single called "I Just Want to Dance" is coming out. She released some teaser photos. Teaser photos were very up my alley. I love the fonts and the colors.
I like them too. I think she looked beautiful. I was just a little confused. Like if the title is called "I Just Want to Dance," she's like laying on like a cheap motel bed or something. I'm like, what is this?
Dance is up to interpretation, Tina. Maybe it's a metaphor.
Oh, okay, all right. I kind of like that. I actually kind of like that. But no, she looked beautiful. Like I particularly like the photo of her, I think, like smelling flowers, and it was her side profile, and she just looked very kind of like cozy in a lot of the pictures. I guess it's just like isn't like I was like, okay, like I just want to dance. I thought she was gonna kind of be like all glammed up or something, but this is the side of Tiffany I actually really like. So I'm glad that they're showcasing that in the teaser photos.
Yeah, and then of course on the other hand we have Jessica, who's coming out with Fly, which is featuring fabulous classic rapper.
Wait, the Brooklyn dude?
I'm not sure where he's
rapper?
from. Yeah, you know, Can't Let You
my
Go,
God.
and you know.
Wait, that's kind of dope. I love Fabulous. So
I mean, he's been one of my favorites for a really long time.
He's just
from that time
I just haven't like heard of him in a minute, other than him like responding to random people on Twitter.
So I will say it's an interesting choice because, you know, if I'm looking at Fabulous's like discography, he hasn't really released something, you know, hardcore released something in maybe in like 2 years, and his last hit was probably the Make Me Better song, I think it was, with Neo, which was like,
oh yeah,
You Make Me Better.
Oh yeah, oh shit, I love that song. Yeah.
But how long ago was that?
That was like, yeah, I mean, like I remember when he joined Twitter, somebody was like doesn't doesn't he have something better to do than like looking up stuff about himself on Twitter? And he quoted it. It was like,
Fabulous.
Nope.
Well, in any case, you know, Jessica, she put out a teaser video. She didn't announce a date yet, but it really does look like these two are going to go head to head because Jessica put out the teaser video. It had sort of like a softer, maybe hip hop vibe to it. Granted, you know, teaser videos, K-pop fans know this. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what the song's going to be like.
Right.
But, you know, we talked about it. She was in a bathtub in the middle of a desert, you know, wearing her sunglasses.
It was intriguing.
Yeah.
And then she has a very kind of like soft, high-pitched voice, which
Right.
really came through in that end kind of sweeping note. So again, not much to work with. Don't really have any idea what the track's gonna sound like, but
Nope.
I wouldn't call myself a Jessica fan by any means. I'm definitely more of a Tiffany supporter. But I am intrigued by this fabulous collaboration.
So that ups the anticipation.
That really did. Because, I mean, we kind of talked about this in a previous episode, how what kind of sound could she come back, or could she do a solo debut with? And I could see her either doing kind of like a softer kind of girly sound, or something more along the lines of the boys, like urban, edgy. And I'm hoping it's leaning toward that. And with, you know, a hip hop guest on there, maybe it is leaning toward that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one would think, you know,
I mean, like, oh my gosh, what if it wasn't? How would he sound on that?
Right. I mean, if you listen to last week's episode when I made my dream girl group, I love Jessica's tone. I think she has something really unique. Tiffany is a great singer too, but I think I'm definitely Jessica's more my taste. Okay. So I guess if I would say which one I'm more anticipating, I would say Jessica.
Okay.
But you know, I'm more, the most curious thing to me about this is that, you know, if I don't know, and I'm still trying to get a read on how Girls' Generation fans feel about Jessica.
Right.
Because it's still kind of unsure what exactly happened.
Right.
But here's the interesting thing is that maybe if Jessica was just releasing on her own this month, Girls' Generation fans would probably say, okay, you know, Jessica has my support.
Right.
But I almost feel like by putting Tiffany here, like maybe this is an SM thing. Maybe I don't know what's going on exactly, but it almost is sort of putting a wedge and saying you need to decide between, because you can't vote for both, or you can't, you know, you
it's almost like we got you, Tiffany, like you know, like we're SM, you know, we're gonna, you know, just throw it out there and do it. We're not afraid to, you know, and, you know, have this showdown.
Of course, and you know, both girls have such huge fan bases.
Yes.
Jessica in particular has a really big Chinese fan base, and I think it's going to be interesting because I don't know. I hope everything remains civil, everything remains, you know, supportive.
Yeah.
But you know, what's going to be like on music shows? Do you think they're going to interact?
So Jessica's promoting this. It's in English with Fabulous, I'm assuming.
So what I understand is that it's going to be Korean and English, and you know.
Okay, so the Korean version's not going to have him on it.
It's according to, so you know, we're obviously still waiting full-fledged details, but when she released the full track list, it does say, you know, so she didn't. So the track list has Fly featuring Fabulous as like the title track, like, you know, the title track being the, you know, full-fledged single.
Okay.
So I don't know if that means.
I mean, it's not like Fab's doing anything else. They might fly him out to.
That's what I was gonna say.
Inkigayo or Music Core or some shit.
Which I would love.
I mean, that's not the first time that, you know, an American artist has performed. Like Jason Derulo was in Korea.
Really?
Yeah, and like
I remember when A. came and performed. That was so cool.
And like they interviewed her.
Yeah.
Back when Rain and Amarian tried to make that happen. I don't think Rain was here. I don't think Amarian went to Korea.
Oh.
But like having an American artist perform with a Korean artist on like a Korean music show, that's not unheard of. So who knows how they're gonna promote it?
Yeah, no, I'm very intrigued. You know, and especially, you know, I really do want to know like what's going on with the fans, like where will their hearts lie?
Are they gonna be petty?
That's what I'm wondering. You know,
I feel like there was always kind of mutual support. Like there wasn't ever any rift between. Like no one was ever like, oh, because they're both from America, you kind of like one or the other. I feel like everyone generally liked both girls. So, I hope it's love. The petty side of me kind of hopes there's some pettiness because I like drama, but
love a drama. But no, I'm very, very curious to kind of what's happening. So let us know if you're on Team Jessica, Team Tiffany, or Team both, Team Girls, Team Girls. But yeah, no, guys, as always, please hit us up with comments, #Kids. You guys send a bunch of great stuff. We you know, we do our best to pack as much as possible. If we couldn't get you this week, we're gonna try to get you next week. We're always watching. We're always getting it on. But yeah, always getting it on. What am I talking about? We're always
Jeff is confused. It's been a long week. It's only Wednesday.
If you guys couldn't tell, we're struggling.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness gracious. But yes, guys, we love the support. Thank you so much as always. Yeah, keep tuning in. Lots of exciting stuff coming with K-pop. I'm hearing there's a really exciting K-Con announcement coming tonight. Hearing exciting stuff about Jessica's debut. Also, in America. So keep it locked. We'll include all the exclusives we can and reveal what we can. Keep it locked. And yes, guys, so thank you so much. But as always,
Thanks for listening.
This has been Jeff.
And this is Tina. Bye, all.
Bye-bye.